Hello, my people. It's so good to be back here again. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, remember that the Southern governor sat down to have a meeting to ban open grazing in the southern part of the country, and it actually started with the southwestern states of Nigeria where they banned open grazing. But unfortunately, I can tell you that that has not really been actualized because we still see that. Open grazing is still being practiced by the Fulani herders, irrespective of what the governors have agreed on. But, this is really unfortunate because it seems like the state governors do not really have power to make some laws in their state, and that is affecting so many things because it is their responsibilities to protect the lives and properties of their citizens of each of their states. So if the presidency is saying anything otherwise, it means he is standing against the governors of the state. But anyway, we'll find out more in this report because it says that open grazing is still being very much practiced, and it continues in southern states despite the governor's ban. And why is this continuing? Why has this continued to be so? Well, we'll find out in this report. But please ensure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, turn on the notification bell, ensure you like, and also share our video. Okay, my dear friends, without further ado, let us dive right into the details of this report. Yes, it says that open grazing continues in southern states despite governor's ban. Legislation not enforced in Ekiti, Oyo. Bill under consideration in Ondo, Ogun. Northern governors open grazing no longer sustainable. Yeah, it says that open grazing of cattle is continuing in the 17 southern states unabated despite the May 12 Asaba declaration by the governors. An investigation carried out showed that nearly 3 weeks after the governor's resolution, there has been no attempt in any of the states to enforce the ban, even in states with existing law banning open grazing. Some of the other states are in the process of passing their own bill into law. Cattle are spotted grazing daily at Alamala in Abeokuta and down the road to Aigetoro in Yewa North and Imeko, all in Ogun State. The situation is the same at Owode, Ede, Kelebe, Ede, Iwu, Okuku, Gbogon, Ilisha, Ara, among others, in Osun State. Ifaki, Omo, Kaba Highway, Ikere Ekiti, Ise Road, and other major roads in Ekiti State. Emene Gariki, Akunanau, Akegbe Ugu, and Ankunke villages in Enugu. The cattle herders, some of them boys, are young as 10 years old, look unperturbed by the threat to restrict their movement. Although Ekiti State had a law in place as far back as 2016, during the Fayose administration banning open grazing, government appears to be shy of enforcing it. Apart from government's enforced confiscation of a few cows in the early days of the law, nothing much has been done since then to bring culprits to book. A top government official said it was hamstrung because the security agencies with the power of enforcement are under the control of the federal government. The source said the government has no means of implementing the ban on open grazing except Amotekun, which he said is ineffective because of the inability of its personnel to bear firearms. He added that the police and other security agencies who are authorized by law to carry arms are not committed to the enforcement of the laws. Oyo State, which enacted its own anti-open grazing law late 2019, has also not been enforcing it. It was introduced as a solution to hitherto incessant farmer-herder clashes, which stretched the ability and resources of security agencies and community leaders in the state to its limit. However, the special advisor on security to Governor Seyi Makinde, Mr. Fatai Owusheni, told us that the state was smoothly enforcing the law. And according to him, the government set up a mediation and reconciliation committee in every local government which resolves open grazing cases. Because of the work of the committees, Owusheni said, only few cases, if any, get to litigation level. He said cases that involve murder and kidnapping are handled by the police instead of the committee. In his words, the law is not redundant. It is a standard practice that each local government has a mediation and reconciliation committee in place. They amicably resolve the issues, hence they hardly get to court. But local sources reveal that the state government itself is frustrated by the police, whose lack of enthusiasm in prosecuting offenders or helplessness is handling those accused or arrested for open grazing due to pressure from above has become a source of worry. A source gave an example of a 10-acre cassava farm in Oyo town on which herders grazed their cattle. The owner reported the case at an area command in Ibadan, whose men moved swiftly to arrest the herders. Although the culprits were traced to a bush, the police failed to arrest them. Instead, their leader, Seriki, was invited to Ibadan for questioning. Instead of honoring police invitation, the source said that his lawyer wrote to the police to the effect that he would represent his client. Before that happened, the police handed off the case, citing pressure from above. Since the power of arrest and prosecution lies in the police, the Oyo state government is sometimes frustrated with failure of the police to arrest, prosecute offenders, the source said. The Ondo State Executive Council has already given consent for anti-open grazing bill, which will be forwarded to the State Assembly for passing. Moves by the Ogun State government to have a law in place to ban open grazing remain stalled. The current State Legislative Assembly, under the leadership of Speaker Kunle Oluomo, was at the point of passing the Ogun State Anti-Open Grazing Bill when Assembly workers went on strike and stalled its passage. The bill was sponsored by Gani Oyedeji, representing Ifo 2 state constituency, and seeks a ban on open grazing of cattle in the state. Speaker Oluomo told us that the bill recommends quarantining of all animals brought into the state for a period of time and making animals or cattle rearing a business venture, requiring those engaged in it to purchase land and ranch the animals. The police said they have not received directive to enforce ban on open grazing by southern governors. There is now law yet in place. There's no law yet in place. There's now law yet in place against open grazing in Osun State, but the government says it will sanction those grazing in the open. Agriculture Commissioner Adebayo Adewale, speaking during a headers meeting summit organized by Oluwo of Iwo Oba Abdulrasheed Akombi, recently urged headers to embrace ranching. He said, "We are not necessarily talking about arrest of headers. We are telling headers to embrace ranching." The southern governors met recently about open grazing and ranching. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. But obviously, it still shows that open grazing is still being practiced in all of the 17 southern states. What is the way out? So, my dear people, that is it. Please drop your comment. Let us hear from you. And whatever you have to say, drop it in the comment section. Don't forget to give our video a thumbs up. Do have a pleasant time. Bye for now.